my mom actually advised me to go get a perm, and that's how I got my first curly hair. First I got a haircut, so my hair was up until here, I think, black, and the perm made it much shorter because the curls bring your hair up, and that made me feel weird. What made me feel nice is after a few months of growing it, the roots were straight a little bit and then the rest were curly. So why I liked it was because it balanced my face out. I have a long face. The fact that the curls made it more proportionally equal helped me a lot, helped it widen my face, and I think it looked much better since I got rid of an insecurity that I had. I've had it for 3 years. A perm lasts like six months, and I kept getting inked after 6 and 6 and 6 months. Over the time I got used to it. I knew how to stylize it. I knew how the perfect length for it. Over the course of having this curly hair, I learned how to manage it. I used proper conditioner for curly hair, proper shampoo. I let it dry while they were in perfect curls after washing it. I think that was the me that I liked the most. From long straight hair to like curly hair, medium length, boosted my self-esteem a lot. Everybody said that it looks great on me. I agree. It was something that I wished I had since 10th grade. Now that I finally had it, I just enjoyed every second of it, but I still got bored. I cut it back short. When I saw myself back again with short hair, black, it feels like I traveled in time back to 4 years ago when I was still a nerd and I didn't know much and I didn't consider myself pretty, and it hit my self-esteem a lot because it felt like I lost all that progress. But in my head, I did it because I was like, okay, before then I was inexperienced with short hair. Now I'm experienced and I know how to stylize it, so let's try to go back in time by cutting my hair and try and stylize it with all the knowledge that I have now. It didn't work out that well. I didn't like that I returned to the me from 4 years ago and I wanted to change. I wanted to be a new me again. So that's when bleaching came into my mind. I did not know anything. I asked a friend to help me out. I trusted her, so I didn't have to go to the salon. I looked at hair salons, the prices for men and dyeing the hair and whatever. Expensive. So I was lucky. That friend told me to buy a certain kind of bleach. I didn't listen. The first bleaching was kind of meh, so it ended up with my hair looking very yellow and I didn't like it. I waited 1 week. I had very yellow hair and I still had to go to university and all of that, and everybody was, wow, who's this? You look so different. What's that yellow hair? I did get the feeling that it was a new me. It wasn't what I expected, and I was awaiting the time that I would get the second bleach, and it finally happened. I got the second bleach. My hair turned bright yellow this time. It wasn't the type of blonde that I wanted. Fortunately, I had silver dye. It didn't end up being yellow anymore. The color balanced it out. It wasn't necessarily silver at all. It was more like ivory color, so it neutralized the yellow and it looked exactly how I wanted. It looked exactly how I wanted it, and I felt like I never rocked short hair before at all, but with this new look, I felt so confident. I finally felt like short hair looks good on me. So I kept it, and then over time the color washed away, ended up being a normal blonde. The normal blonde was cool. I didn't have any problems with that. Blonde hair, that requires new products. Before I used just normal shampoo, Head and Shoulders or whatever, and conditioner to keep my curls in touch or clear. Now with blonde hair, I require to use purple shampoo just to keep the blonde so it wouldn't turn yellow. That's the thing. I used 2 conditioners, not at the same time. And now having the hair blonde and short, it meant that I didn't have to blow dry it anymore. It dried very fast, 20 minutes I think. It was all in all much more manageable. And then people kept asking me, oh, when are you gonna bleach it again? When are you gonna get the roots done again? I felt like my face was long again, which was an insecurity I had in the past. I'm just gonna let the roots grow out, even though they'll be black or dark brown. At the beginning it did look very weird because it had this transition between them that was so direct. So it was black and then straight blonde. There was no gradient and it felt weird. I didn't quite like it that much. And then over time it sort of faded. I tried new looks and it looked good. And I think that was the period where I liked it the most, where I had half black and half blonde on top. And I could brush it, it would intermingle, the colors would intermingle with each other and it looked very nice. Me going blonde was out of nowhere. But me cutting my hair short had a meaning to it. I cut my hair short just to prove to myself that I'm a new person. Even if I return to my original hair, which I associated with a bad me, with low self-confidence, fear, I didn't like it, but now I'm a new person. So I wanted to prove to myself that even if I returned to the past, to how I looked in the past, I would still be myself and my new self. That's why I went blonde, just to be, let's say, in search of another me. I consider these sort of stages of my life or chapters whenever I change my look this drastically, because I had long or medium hair before. Now it's short. It was curly. Now it's back straight naturally. It was black. Then when I bleached it, it was blonde, so everything changed, and it was such a drastic change. When I looked in the mirror, I didn't recognize myself. That's why it sort of felt like a new chapter with me, that I can start working on myself again, earn new achievements, all of that. I'm really curious how I will feel when I return back to my curls. Now I'm blue. So how did that happen? Obviously, for me, when I did it for the first time, it felt wild. Why did I do it? Some friends encouraged me to try other hair colors. I didn't really want to, but I also didn't want to lose on this experience, so I did it. I chose blue. It was a mistake because I don't like it. I feel out of place. Me as a person, I like to blend in with others. Now that I have blue hair, I stand out from everyone. When I saw myself in the mirror, I knew it was a bad idea, but I had to keep with it. It's semi-permanent, this one, so it'll go away in 10 or so washes. I kind of want it to go away now. All the other me's in the past, it still felt like myself, but other versions. This one, I'm a stranger. Blue hair, I think, is too rebellious for me. I stand out from other people. Since I dyed my hair, I looked around. The only person with blue hair like me was just one random girl. I didn't want to feel different. I don't want to stand out. So I'm gonna dye my hair back to my natural color. The end of my color adventure. Let's see how it goes. Black now, back to normal. It doesn't feel like I traveled back 3 years in time. It certainly feels like I'm a new person now again. Maybe it's because it's more black than my natural color. I think it's just my brain playing with me, changing from blonde or blue suddenly to a dark color. Just get the perception that it's darker than it was before, because I just didn't see my natural hair color for so long. 5 months, I think. Oh, half a year. Wow. It certainly felt longer than that. I'm very happy that I got rid of the blue. The black suits me more. Changing from all these looks, certainly come to accept how I looked in the past. My parents were happy because I'm finally back. My housemates kept looking at me and they started laughing a little bit. I don't think they laughed because it was funny or because I looked funny. It was just a huge surprise to them that I looked different again. Black is my favorite out of the blonde and blue.
I think having curly hair makes me stand out. Straightening it or making it wavy, just like how you see it now, makes me feel way more confident, because I've noticed that people treat me way better than when I have my natural hair. One example would be when I was in school, I always wore, my natural hair, my curly hair, or in a bun or in a ponytail. One day I came in with my hair straightened and people were so much nicer to me. That really made me think, like, is my real hair not enough for people? Which I know it's a bit dramatic, but that's how I felt and I was very young. I really love my hair and I try to wear it as natural as possible, but even now when I want to go out and I want to look the prettiest, my best, I always do it like this, or I just take a hair straightener and just do it super straight, because yes, people treat me way better and I get more compliments, and I think that's a bit weird. I love my curly hair. At the same time, I'm trying to be mindful of when I'm wearing it, when I'm not straightening it. For example, if I'm just wearing a casual outfit, sweats, some sneakers, I will do my hair like this or just straighten, because I feel like having my big hair, it will be too much and it just wouldn't fit into my outfit. I would have my hair natural when I have like a dress on, something girly. That's how I associate my natural hair, with something very girly, very just flirty. This hair with just something more casual, I would say. My hair is naturally curly, right? But sometimes I have to help it become more bouncy and shiny. After I wash my hair, I do my normal washing routine. I just use this after the shower. It's like a curl activator cream. So you just, scrunch it up and it will just become way more curlier. My hair gets very frizzy. This helps it not become a mess. You think having curly hair means using tons of products to maintain it, but in reality I only use 3 products for my curly routine. I only use this to make it even more curly. Usually I just use this shampoo for very dry hair. Then I use a hair mask which smells amazing and apparently is really good. I had it recommended from a friend of mine and yeah, it's been working really well so far. I also take these supplements. They help you with hair growth and also losing hair because I just lose a lot of hair. To achieve this look, obviously I need to use a heat protector right after the shower and let it air dry. I'm trying to avoid even more heat damage than I already put my hair through with my special brush. But when I do use my brush to achieve this look, I'm also using a heat defense spray. Again, I'm trying to avoid hair damage. I'm really into scents and I recently discovered that there's just perfume specially made for your hair. I have this one from Chanel. It smells really good. It's specifically made for your hair, so you just spray it and it lasts quite a long time. I was very impressed with that. So yeah, love this product. Even though I really love my hair, even if it's wavy or curly, sometimes I just want to change my look, So I thought about dyeing my hair blonde, but then I made some research and I found out that a lot of girls lose their curls after so much bleaching, and as you can see, my hair is pretty dark, so it will require a lot of bleaching. I said to satisfy my curiosity, I was intending to buy a wig from Amazon. I heard they're pretty good. I think I'll do that and see how I look blonde.
Culture in India, it's written in ancient histories and granthas. Hair kind of reflects as lust or greediness. People believe that this particular hair on the body or hair on head is like the sins you have made in your past life. One of the temples, it's called Tirupati, usually do hair donations. We donate our hair to God. We usually say that we are giving up all the sins, all the greediness, free of all of those sins. That's what the ancient history has so far told in the religion. It's really a great story to begin with. Why exactly people donate hair in Tirupati Balaji? Having a hair, it's like a good aesthetic view, good beauty to a person. Having a good beauty eventually leads to greediness, lust, and everything. In the culture, in the history, in granthas, they said that giving away that greediness, lustfulness in your body, all those awful feelings, you're giving it away and you'll feel like free as comfortable. There are other perspectives. Having a hair is the more hair you have, the more black magic or darker side of your personality. That's how they reflect. Giving it away makes you feel light, leaving all the burdens and everything, luggage, away. There was a small joke. Grow your hair longer, had it cut. The cut portion of your hair, we're gonna use it to make a wig. One day it would rather be a good memory. I grew my hair really long, I had it cut. When I'm gonna go back home in India, the wig maker, he's gonna add his own fibers to it. The complete process, it might take 1 or 2 months. I tried henna, which made my hair a reddish brown, like burgundy. White hair in a younger age was really troublesome because everyone would rather start noticing it. Oh my god, you have a white hair. It's kind of a style. So I stopped dyeing my hair. I play basketball. I had to tie again and again. When the game was running, I'm the only guy who was standing aside and tying my hair back. I had to figure out what hairstyle do I have to put on with the dressing sense I'm wearing. It took a while to figure it out when I had a long hair, how to portray myself in particular discipline, in particular aspects. If I have a chance, I would do that again.
Society, and in my case family, sort of was mainly not really satisfied with bleach white hair, or when I made it electric violet, they said this is not really for men, it's more for women, like be it blonde, be it any color. They didn't really like that idea. They didn't really like the fact that I chose to bleach and dye my hair. I guess that's sort of image of like very conservative societal views on hair, on how human beings sort of choose to style themselves, hair being one of the items you can choose to alter. I guess they definitely didn't really accept the dye, and it's always attributed to the feminine or the LGBTQ community. Another thing, the length of the hair as well. My whole family sort of loved that I went back to the natural, and when it got a bit longer they could see the curls. They said it looks really nice, but say at this point they said now that it's too long, and that's also leaning for that's too much of a girl kind of thing. They don't really like that. While they're not really appreciative of my style in terms of hair, it used to really bother me, but because I found happiness in accepting my hair, whatever color it is, whatever texture it is, and just sort of deciding how I want to look and deciding what I can alter by myself and just going for it and just going with it as well. That confidence and that happiness that I found made me not really be that bothered. Yeah, I guess it's annoying. I still prefer to put my happiness and my comfort and my identity over the needs of other people. Anything that I went for that looked a bit feminine might have, you know, brought a bit more looks on the street as well. You can still see people really judging anything that's not really manly, whether you're a man or not, or you're a female and you're not really looking feminine. I guess it stands out, and that could be related, I guess, to gender norms as well, and how other people want you to look. I just came to terms with how I want to look for myself, and I think that's way more important because this is how it makes me happy.
I found out about it in late 2020. This was during the pandemic, and it was when I was in lockdown. So I guess the blessing in disguise was that we were all in a lockdown, so nobody could see that I had this issue. I started noticing that there were 2 patches on my head that were no hair, and I thought it was nothing. I thought maybe I hit my head on something and maybe my hair just fell off. So I went to the barber, did my usual haircut, fade. So I thought maybe in 2 weeks time my hair would grow back. 2 weeks later it didn't, and I went to my dermatologist and she told me that it is alopecia. It was devastating for me because hair for me was always like a big thing in my life. Always very proud of my hair. Always tried different haircuts, different hairstyles. There's alopecia areata, alopecia totalis, and universalis. Mine at that time was areata because it was only spots. But the thing with alopecia, eventually it can end up in totalis, losing hair on your entire face. And the last one, which is universalis, but basically meaning your whole body you will lose hair. Of course there was this fear that once I start losing them 2 spots, I will eventually grow to have more spots and eventually lose all my hair. A month and a half later, actually a 3rd spot came up on top of my head, and that was when I knew that this is it, like I'm gonna probably lose all my hair. So it was a time of accepting that this might be my fate and this might be my future, that I won't have hair for the rest of my life. When I started stressing out a bit less, that was when I started accepting myself and started loving myself for the person I am rather than my hair, rather than my appearance. Right now my hair is all long and very healthy. It is an autoimmune disease, and there is currently no cure for it. Your antibodies just attack your hair follicles. I don't know exactly why. Some people say it might be due to stress, but there is no scientific evidence as of yet. If it does ever come back, I think I'll definitely be more ready than I was before. The essence of a person at the end of the day is the heart and the soul and the mind. I'm not just about my hair. I'm not just about how I look. I'm more than that.
It's definitely a form of self-expression. It's quite funny because I'd go out and then I'd come home with a different hair colour and my family would be like, what have you done to your head? I've made a lot of friends with homeless people just because I can. They're also kind of big supporters of my hair. Every time I see them they're like, oh, you look wicked! And I do have periods of missing my hair colour, missing my long hair, because it was quite cool. Like, I could hide behind my hair. Now that I've got short hair, there's no hiding. It feels a lot clearer to just be who I am rather than hide behind a societal beauty standard. But when your hair starts to go grey, you just leave it alone, let it go grey. You've lived a life. Your hair is like a symbol of who you are. My head shaving came from having a bit of a gender crisis. It was definitely a new beginning for me. I came back in touch with my womanhood. It's definitely helped with my confidence as well. And then maybe I'll shave it again at one point. It's definitely like a relief, because you get to change something about yourself without having to work hard for it. It's quite liberating. It's very easy to put someone in a box because of their appearance. Say for example, I saw a man with like very long hair, I'd assume that he's a bit of a hipster, like he's quite a hippie kind of guy, he's quite laid back, but he might not be. It's definitely a form of self-expression. When you do something to your hair and no one else has an input on that, you feel like you can be in control of yourself. And then in that you get freedom. When it comes to the process as well, you have to keep your emotions under control, because if you're having a horrible time and you're cutting your hair and you miss, you're only going to blame yourself and make yourself feel worse. It's almost like a self-intimate process to go through. You are editing yourself. It gets it can be quite emotional to do so, but you have to make sure that you're in control of that. I'm glad that this is a conversation to be had, because I've never actually had a conversation just about hair and the freedom that comes with it. You see someone on the street and you think, oh, they've got cool hair, but you don't think, I wonder why they've got cool hair. It's a good lesson to be taught. It's a good thing to think about and actually process about how others perceive you, because we are so hard on ourselves about the way we're perceived by the public. That's why when I said to you earlier, I don't care how you have me, because you've seen me from all angles walking with me, so why would it matter? I am who I am, and you can't really change it with an angle.
A nurse for many years in Australia. That was my favourite job in the whole world. I worked with the elderly in the hospital, although I am looking after my mum now, so it's all been very good lessons that I've learned. I also did palliative, which was end of life. I've seen a lot of people with cancer. It comes around to wearing things that make you feel better or doing things that make you feel better, and it's all about how we look, how we feel. I don't know how it feels to lose all my hair. I had my head shaved and I did it for a charity, but I didn't realise, and I heard it from the other point of view, is that the people who do suffer and lose their hair say, well, you don't really know, you just have it shaved off and then it grows back, and that is very true. I never actually looked at it that way. They do make beautiful wigs now. I mean, really, really beautiful, where you can just keep yourself. And I've had quite a few ladies come in here who have bought wigs, and the difference it makes to them when they find something that they really like, it's really lovely. Even if you want to just change your face for, or go out to a party, or you can just be someone different. I used them when I did theatre, and that was fantastic, because you just instantly become someone else, don't you? You can walk out there and you've got different coloured hair. Everybody has a different way of expressing themselves. I often, look at punk rockers and people who are in the music scene. They're expressing themselves as well. Even actors and actresses, I suppose. It's the same. It's showing yourself through different things. I mean, some people are really good at speaking. They can get up in front of loads of people and say, oh, this and this. Sometimes I felt I should have been saying more about things in life because they've happened to me. And maybe I will one day, or maybe I won't. It doesn't matter. But I do think if things happen to you that you feel you can help other people, it's a good thing to do.